This very mysterious question about Mueller's probe that has everyone confused, by Amy Moreno for truthfeednews.com. By now, we all know there's a lot of things wrong with the Mueller witch hunt, but there's one very specific mystery that has everyone confused. It involves the DNC emails and the Russians. If Russia hacked the DNC emails like the Democrats claim, why hasn't Robert Mueller issued an indictment of any Russians or Russian businesses or hacking? Julian Assange, the co-founder and editor of WikiLeaks who published the DNC emails, has come out and said on several occasions his source was not Russian. However, Democrats still claim it was Russians who hacked them in an effort to sabotage Hillary. So, if that's the case, where's the indictment? From The Hill. In the year since the start of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, one thing has been notably absent: a public indictment of any Russians for the hacking of the Democratic National Committee, DNC. Mueller has charged President Trump's former campaign chief, secured guilty pleas from several individuals in Trump's orbit, and indicted 13 Russians for an elaborate plot to leverage social media to influence the American electorate. But the special counsel has yet to announce charges for the hacking of the DNC, even though the intelligence community and private cybersecurity experts linked the attack to the Russian government more than a year ago. Legal experts say there are several possible explanations. The reasons can range from there's no evidence of any known individuals to publicly announcing the indictment would compromise other aspects of the investigation, said Mark Zaid, a Washington-based attorney specializing in national security. Mueller also might not be able to reveal the information they might possess to prove the case, Zaid said, because it could compromise intelligence sources or methods. Experts broadly agreed that the lack of a public indictment should not be interpreted as a sign that charges have not been brought for the hacking. There may be one, and it may be sealed, said Jack Sharman, a former special prosecutor to Congress for the Whitewater investigation, adding that prosecutors often file indictments under seal when they don't want to alert targets and potentially useful witnesses that, in fact, somebody has already been charged. Reports in recent months have suggested that Mueller's team has compiled enough evidence to charge those suspected for the DNC attack. If no charges have been brought, it's possible the special counsel's team is still building a case against the suspects or wants to understand the full scope of what happened. If there are Americans involved, whether or not they have anything to do with the campaign, then I would expect an indictment, said Stephen Cash, a lawyer at Day Pitney. One of the main unanswered questions for Mueller is whether anyone associated with the Trump campaign was involved in the theft or release of the hacked emails. In recent days, the special counsel has appeared to zero in on former Trump advisor Roger Stone, repeatedly subpoenaing two individuals who have worked with the longtime Trump advisor. Stone was attracted scrutiny for claiming during the campaign to have a line of communication with WikiLeaks, the organization that published troves of hacked emails from the DNC and Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. While Stone once claimed in an interview that he had communicated with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, he later walked that back, saying it was done through an intermediary. Over the weekend, Stone told NBC Meet the Press that he's preparing for the possibility of being indicted. It is not inconceivable now that Mr. Mueller and his team may seek to conjure up some extraneous crime pertaining to my business, or maybe not even pertaining to the 2016 election, Stone said. I would chalk this up to an effort to silence me. Russia's alleged involvement in the hacking first came to public attention nearly 2 years ago when CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity firm hired by the DNC, identified two separate Russian-affiliated breaches of the DNC network in 2015 and 2016. Soon after DCLeaks.com, WikiLeaks, and hacker persona Guccifer 2.0 began releasing emails pilfered from DNC servers. In October of 2016, the Department of Homeland Security and the Director of National Intelligence publicly blamed the Russian government for directing the email hacks. The January 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment offered a more complete picture of the Russian activity. It described an influence operation that married covert cyber operations with disinformation to undermine confidence in the U.S. democracy, damaged Democratic presidential nominee, crooked Hillary Clinton, and helped Trump win. Why wouldn't we want somebody crooked in there, right? Yeah, that was the reason. People voted for Trump instead of a crooked Hillary Clinton. It also said that Russian intelligence gained access to DNC networks in July of 2015 and maintained it until at least 2016, noting that the GRU, Russia's main intelligence agency, had exfiltrated large volumes of data from the DNC by May of 2016. Still, tying the hacking operation to specific Russian individuals or entities would warrant significant resources and time, likely requiring federal officials to obtain information from overseas to bolster their case. Anytime you've got to gather evidence from another country, it makes everything that much more complicated, said Randall Eliason, a Washington University law professor and former assistant U.S. attorney. Not only physical evidence like documents, but individuals. I don't know, this sounds like a crock already. Why didn't they hand over the server? Why is Mueller not interested in interviewing WikiLeaks or Kim.com? They're going after Roger Stone now. What a crock this is all. Anyway, So it may be that there is evidence they never will be able to get, no matter how hard they try. Eliason said, yeah, well, that's a big help. Recent reports have offered a tantalizing glimpse into Mueller's findings. The Wall Street Journal reported last November that the Justice Department had identified more than 6 Russian government officials involved in the DNC hack and was weighing whether to indict them. Yeah, another crock. In March, the Daily Beast reported that federal prosecutors have evidence showing that Guccifer 2.0, the hacking persona who claimed responsibility for the DNC breach, was a member of the GRU. But even with a wealth of evidence, Mueller would find it nearly impossible to successfully bring a case against Russian intelligence officers who are out of reach of the U.S. government. A public indictment would do little more than send a warning message to Russia. Yeah, like they're shaking in their pants. They're laughing their pants off right now. And issuing it would not necessarily be a high priority of the sprawling investigation, which includes looking at whether the president obstructed justice. Filing an indictment under seal, however, could prove more attractive. Sealed indictments are commonplace, Sharman said. That might also be particularly useful or important when you may only have one shot at a target, a foreign national, somebody who is not subject to jurisdiction readily, someone who may have to travel to a country with whom we have an extradition treaty. Federal officials opened the investigation into Russian interference in July of 2016, and Mueller was appointed special counsel in May of 2017, and after Trump abruptly fired FBI Director James Comey. What is all of this? You know, I mean, why don't they just get to the point that this is all a crock? The special counsel's probe offered its first bombshell, developed last October in the form of a financial related charges against former Trump campaign aide Paul Manafort and Richard Gates. Well, we saw how that is going. The same day, Mueller unveiled a guilty plea from George Papadopoulos, a former Trump campaign advisor who allegedly told by a Russian-linked professor in April 2016 that the Russians possessed dirt on Clinton in the form of thousands of emails. This was really riveting, wasn't it, folks? Critics of the president have pointed to links between Papadopoulos and other campaign associates in Russia as evidence of the campaign potential culpability in the interference operation last month. The Democratic Party filed a lawsuit against Russia. What a crock. And the Trump campaign and WikiLeaks alleging conspiracy to interfere in the 2016 campaign and aid Trump. You know, this is laughable. I firmly believe that we will see that indictment, but the only question is, will that indictment include U.S. persons or just Russians, said Representative Adam Schiff, another idiot, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, who claimed to have seen, another lie. Yeah, he's seen overwhelming evidence underlying the intelligence community's assessment that the Russian government was behind the hacking of the DNC. I think that Mueller would want to finish the collusion investigation before he charges that, because that is really central to the whole issue of collusion. What role did the Trump campaign play in the release of timing of content of these Russian stolen materials? Schiff added. The special counsel's office declined to comment for this article. Yeah, because this article was a crock of crap. That's what it was. What a crock. What a crock. The very mysterious question, yeah, that everyone wants, that everyone is confused. Yeah, everyone's confused because Mueller's running around rampant, blaming the Russians, so is the DNC, when the real culprits are the DNC, and we all know who hacked into the DNC emails and released them. It was Seth Rich. So I don't know what the whole big question is. This is not a mystery. It's a crock of crap. They're still continuing the same narrative. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.